So James, can you tell us a little bit about how you envisage Future Focus Finance working for FSD in London and nationally, the kind of things that you envisage happening with your colleagues?
Well, I started the role in London, for London, in 2007 when Paul actually started. And it's weird because he did mention I met him, and I actually visited the academy at Unilever. Now, if we get the level of investment that they've got there in the NHS, I think it will be a really exciting future moving forward. So we'll have to see how the foundation's going to look like. For me, it's when I started the role, we saw a disinvestment nationally in FSD, and I think if we hadn't had that national layer to begin with, Band 8B post would have been probably banded at 6 because they didn't put a sense of value around the finance qualification and what we did. So there's a real benefit in having a national glue in terms of what we're doing across the country. And I think for me, this is a really exciting bit moving forward in terms of what we need to do as a profession, as a function moving forward. Now, if you take London as an example, we've never really invested in the wider picture in terms of training and working with clinicians closely because we've not had the budget or the resources to do it. So now there's a real emphasis in terms of moving forward, in terms of how we can get the message out there, how we can make people count, and in terms of working with engaging clinicians to understand finance. So for me, that's a really big area in terms of what we're going to do moving forward. I mean, in terms of our role with Future Focus Finance, we're quite fortunate in London because 3 of the 6 workstream leads are London Finance Directors, so I'm quite lucky because Bill Shields is my chair, Richard Alexander is my boss, and Caroline's here as well. And we work quite closely. I have one of her senior team on our board as well. So in terms of getting a sense of the work streams moving forward, we will be supporting and working with each of those work stream leads to not allow us to reinvent the wheel, but to take bits of good practice and develop them, whether we do, and hopefully develop that nationally, because the picture for FSD has been patchy across the country, so we need to really address the inequalities around the system in terms of what we do and raise the standard of what we're doing moving forward, and I think that this is an exciting opportunity to do that.
Okay, thank you. In terms of taking things forward nationally then, how would you see the FSD and HFMA branches linking in with what we're trying to do with Future Focus Finance?
I suppose to answer the second part of the question first, the branch FSD, certainly within London, we've been quite good at looking at what we do and filling in the gaps of what we do. So certainly the branch within London has supported me in developing the student network, and with the help of many of the graduate trainees in the room today, we've managed to pull the student network and got that going. And it was more about delivering at a higher level, so supporting FD development. So we had discussion groups, action learning set, involving the top leaders as well, and having some some London events that weren't being picked up by the FSD network. So in terms of having that conversation and understanding, we've done that quite well with the branch. I think the branch still has a little bit of a way to go in London in terms of moving forward. I think in terms of, from a national perspective, working with FFF in London, again, it's about, there's quite a broad strategy here. We were quite fortunate last year that we surveyed the FDs across London, and we wrote a strategy for 3 years. And when you look at the strategy and what we're trying to achieve with FFF, they're very similar, thank God.